Hello and welcome to the Chattergate podcast, where we just discuss any old topic we can think of beforehand, and just dick around and whatnot. As usual, this is the voice and face, if you're watching it on YouTube, of the Dragon King, Thomas Hughes.
And I am Connor O'Shea, aka Zenithfire 98/Zenithfire Gaming. But one day I'll get all my things the same, but right now
You're on multiple
aliases, yeah.
Okay, so Connor, what's the topic today?
Talking about gaming and game consoles in general, but maybe like our nostalgia with older consoles, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much like evolution of gaming, essentially, / gaming memories. So look, you're Mr. Right.
You're Mr. Left.
Aww. Okay, so what's the earliest memory you can think of that you can sort of remember in terms of gaming?
Playing PlayStation 1 in the cupboard underneath the stairs. Literally Harry Potter.
Are you taking a piss right now? Are you being serious?
No, that's not serious. Playing Tony Hawk's on the PlayStation 1 underneath the stairs. There's a picture somewhere of me doing this.
Why were you under the stairs?
I think it was just like get me out of the way kind of thing. Like 2-year-old. I think there's either 2 or 3. Just kind of like there's like a. God, how do I explain it? So in the living room, there's like a little door in the corner.
Yeah.
And you open it, and then in there was like a little couple of ways like storage stuff. But at the time it was empty and there's no door, so I could just sit in there and play games while they were watching TV. So it's kind of just get me out of the way. But yeah, PlayStation 1, the big one, not the little one, the big, massive, original PlayStation 1.
Not the small one I had.
Nah, I did have a small one as well, but I think I gave that to my nan because it was like, she only played Final Fantasy on it, and I was like, here you go, I don't want it. I've got this big one. That was like chipped at the time. I think we bought it chipped, like you could play like the dodgy games on it.
Yeah.
I just remember like this little bunny sticker at the top with eggs on it. It must be like an Easter sticker I stuck on it or something. But yeah, that was chipped. We used to just play all the modded games, and some on there were not like original games at all. Like there's just some fan-made games that are really bad. But yeah, that's my earliest memory.
I feel like it's pretty similar like that with me as well as PlayStation. The small one, not the big one. I found one of my games. It's just been randomly lying in my room for God knows how many years. I don't remember playing this game ever in my life. It's called Dinosaurs. From the back of it, it looks like some sort of colouring activity game. If you can sort of glance at that, it looks like some sort of colouring based puzzle game.
Show me the front cover.
It looks like Land Before Time, but it's not.
Is that thing where that like meme comes from when that dinosaur goes yee?
I'm not thinking
about
the back of the case says the dinosaur baby could wait no longer and stepped out from the broken egg. It's a boy, the lucky father screamed. After a few days, the young dinosaur got lost, and while he was lost, an earthquake took place and the volcano erupted. Wow, this guy's going through the shits already. When the young dinosaur arrived home, only ash and lava was left, and there's no trace of his family. I've tried to find my family, the young dinosaur cried. ...
Why does it look like that? Why is it like that thing?
I don't think so.
I think so. Like, is that?
I don't even remember playing this game. I think I got this.
I don't know what it is.
If I remember correctly, this game at primary school, there's like they had like the sale of your old crap and whatnot.
Oh, like a car boot, but not a car boot.
And
what's it called? I can't think what that's actually called.
I swear I brought this from there for like real cheap. I don't know why. I think I was like, I'm pretty certain I was on like Xbox at that point, but I still brought it. I was like, oh, PlayStation game. It's old. I have PlayStation still. I play it every now and again. So I think I just brought it from there.
Talking about like a sale, I remember there's one that was like the school across my house, and I bought A Odyssey on PlayStation 1 from there. That was a weird game. Like an alien.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the early ones. Plus, I think I remember correctly. Okay, this is going back now. But, do you remember the games that you were required to plug three cables into the back of your TV: red, white, and yellow.
Yeah, like the actual, so not HDMI, basically the original OG SCART stuff.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a screen game. It was a controller.
Oh, so it'd be like just a joystick that you plug in. It
And
has
then
like
it would come
50
on
games built in.
And it would come on the screen. Obviously,
Hmm.
one of those. I had Mortal Kombat, the first game, on one of them. Could never play it. Like, I just get my ass kicked every time.
What, just Mortal Kombat? No other game?
Just Mortal Kombat. It was literally Mortal Kombat controller.
Ah.
It was just specifically designed for Mortal Kombat. That and a gambling one I had.
A gambling
There was
one.
like a sort of a casino one. It was all
Right,
green
man.
and you put it in. And you literally got to walk around a casino and play card games, roulette, and everything. I remember playing those back then. I think we still have them somewhere. I don't know where. I'm pretty certain those days.
Oh, you reminded me of another thing talking about gambling. I remember I went through my dad's PlayStation 1 collection and mixed in was a Playboy game, right? Let alone, I must be like, probably like 6. I don't remember how old I was. But I put it in, like, oh, Playboy, Game Boy. Obviously put it in. And like, it starts off in like this like hall, which I'm guessing was the mansion. And it's like pool and poker and stuff. But like, every now and then, just like naked women would pop up with the boobs out. And I found out, like, obviously the boobs on it. So I just ejected it, closed it, and put it inside the airing cupboard. And then it must have been about 10 years later, my dad come like to take down this airing cupboard and found it. I was like, what's this? I was like, I don't know what that is.
Oh.
I was just worried. I was like, oh no, they're going to find out I've stayed at boobies.
That way you hid it.
I just hid it. I was like,
You hid it because you were scared that they were going to find it.
But it's like obviously PlayStation 1, so it's like really bad like quality
Quality.
pictures of just like tits. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's stick that in the
Like
cupboard.
fucking blocks, essentially.
Honestly, it's
Free
like
bits.
Minecraft. It's like Minecraft tits on there. It's terrible. But I was too worried that I was going to get found out, so I just chucked it in the airing cupboard.
So I think that the first like major obviously I had the PlayStation, but I don't remember too much about that. But I think that the first major one that was brought directly for me was probably the Xbox.
What, original 360?
Original.
But yeah, I've never had one of them. That's the only console I've never
I've
bought.
still got it. It's still downstairs. I saw it when I was finding the games. I saw that in the GameCube, still in like this slot. I was like, oh, okay.
Is it like the original black or like the transparent green one?
Black.
Oh, I want the transparent green. I know there's like a transparent orange, which is like really rare. Is it orange?
I remember my dad brought it me for I think it was Christmas. It was a dual present. It was like, oh, this is for you and your sister, even though she never played it. So it's basically just for me. The game I found was Star Wars Battlefront, the first one.
Oh my god, sitting in loading screens.
No, you want to know a little bit older but goody information about this? No, I got this from
Go on then.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster, Jesus Christ. I was gonna say Toys R Us then.
Do you remember when they used to have like the bits in like the windows that used to like sell them? Like you can buy stuff, not rent it. You can buy it.
Oh yeah, you used to have like consoles in
Like,
there sometimes.
Bargain bins essentially.
Mm.
That was in the bargain bin. I went in there like one of the evenings after scores, and I think I was with Steve, my mum, and I was like, oh, I think it was like maybe like a tenner or less. And I was like, me want, and I got it brought. They were like, yeah, you can have it.
Good game, man. Is that the one when you press on the menu and it loads, it goes up?
Look at the graphics in the book.
Oh my god.
Pretty old school graphics in here. Man,
What the hell is that?
it's a fucking sniper. Man, this takes me back. Oh, I'm getting loads of like nostalgic feels out of this. But yeah, the Xbox Pro, my first sort of major on the floor. You go. Console I had, and I had loads of games for it. I had like an arcade game where you could play like Rampage and shit. Also old school. I think I had a couple of SpongeBob games on there. I think there's a Scooby-Doo game on there. I had all sorts of games on that console, and it was just like Lego Star Wars, probably the best one. I couldn't find that one though. That's probably the one I have a lot more fond memories with.
Was that the one with like the 1, 2, and 3? Lego Star Wars.
Just
the first one.
I think it was like the original trilogy. Not well, not the original, the prequel trilogy. Sorry. The episode 1, Phantom Menace, episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of Revenge of the Sith. I think it was those three because like you got to walk around the cantina.
I think is that the one when it's like if you got like 909 coins, you could get like invincibility or whatever. It's like a lot of coins, and you could just get like invincibility.
So, yeah. Or
I think I've got.
Or I used to remember I was playing as General Grievous on it, so you can have all the lightsabers.
I think I had that on PlayStation 2.
I sadly do not have a PlayStation 2 game to show off here, or 3. I do not own either console, so I don't have any offerings on that front.
I've got loads, but none of them are mine. All of my dad's.
I do have a PSP game to offer up front. Also Star Wars Battlefront. But Battlefront 2 this time.
On PSP?
PSP. It's my jam back in the day.
That's probably worse graphics than the Xbox version.
I don't think you can see the graphics on the camera. It's a bit blurred, but it's like really dodgy ass graphics.
I can't see anything on that.
I opened it and everything fell out. Look at the discs though. Look at the discs.
The UMD. You got any of the DVD ones?
No, I couldn't find any. What's this? Memory stick gyro adapter.
What is that in the case?
It just dropped out of the case. I must have put it in there years ago. I haven't opened. Bear in mind, I haven't opened this in years. The disc doesn't even want to stay in the case. It just keeps falling out. I better shut the case up. But yeah, I've never been a PlayStation person really. I sort of jumped a gap. I had the early shit, but then jumped to the later shit. So I missed like the middle area of like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, because I was at Xbox at that time.
Do you have Xbox 360 or no?
Yeah, I've still got that.
So you got 360. You never got PlayStation 2 or?
No, because I was more Xbox. Back in the. I can't find anywhere to put anything on this desk. There you go. Just don't fall up. Just don't fall over. I can't find anything to put on this desk. Yeah, I was more Xbox 360, as seen by my Assassin's Creed copy.
Hang on a second. Go get your stuff. Cut this out. Go get your stuff. Hurry up. I'm going to try and get back into my original position.
I'll get to my original position as well.
What?
Anyway, OG Assassin's Creed. That's like some of my fondest memories on 360.
Is that the original Assassin's Creed? I didn't play the original. I played the second onwards.
Do you know how much I paid for that?
£5.
£7 from the shop down the road.
Oh, I think you told me. Yeah.
From a newsagent's. This is by a chance of 15, and I wasn't 15 when I had this. It was like a bank holiday Monday. I walked in and was like, "Ooh," picked that up. He was like, "Here you go, mate. Here you go. Cheers." Oh, sweet. And that's where my love for Assassin's Creed started, and it's just evolved over the years into many things. But I mean, if you look at like Xbox 360 and obviously PlayStation 3 were the ones that were the first to introduce like the motion sensor stuff, wasn't it? Really, in terms of like the main, like the main consoles, like the fact that especially Xbox, because you didn't have to use any controllers; it was just hands.
Oh, the Kinect.
Like for example, Kinect Joyride.
It never worked so well though.
Nah, not really. I just remember having this when I had the Xbox. It came with it. It's like one of the two. I think was this the only game that came with it, or was there another one? I think
another Animals one.
I don't know. The only two I actually ever had was Joyride and Adventures. I think it was. I just found when I was searching for shit, and that was it really. But I mean, I did have like some like demos of other games, and I have played other ones. I played a Star Wars one at my cousin's before.
I think I remember the Star Wars one. I didn't have a Kinect until the Xbox One, because I bought my Xbox One and got it with it just so I could the Xbox turn off.
I didn't bother with the Xbox One connector. I heard it was shit. It was worse.
It never had obviously any support. It just had like the general features of turning stuff off and stuff. But I got it bundled in with the Xbox. I think my dad brought it me for Christmas and was like, "I got you the Kinect because I know you're a lazy fucker and you can't be asked getting up and turn it off." I was like, "Yeah, okay, that makes sense."
So yeah, I think the 360 was the first major console I actually brought myself. Like every other console I'd had, GameCube, I got given GameCube by my uncle. He was like, "Here you go. Here's a GameCube. Here's about 20 games. It's yours."
Yeah.
DS. Again, my mum, I got brought out for like Christmas. I think all my siblings got one brought for Christmas. They're like, "Yeah, you got one each." I remember playing it. What was it? I used to play on it. Remember the film Open Season, the cartoon with the bear.
Open Season.
The bear.
Oh, with like the vending machine. That one. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, possibly. I think I might be thinking of the right one. No, that's Over the Hedge.
Yeah, it's Over the Edge.
open season now. I'm trying.
So with like the
I'm
bear that he
trying
gets
to
thrown into, he
remember.
gets sent back
Is it
into
the
like, the
deer as
world.
well?
Huh?
The deer in it as well.
Yeah, is it like a deer with one antler?
I remember the front cover. It's got like a sign. They're like leaning on it, right?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
That again,
Okay, I
that
remember
was
it.
brought for obviously Christmas. I think Xbox brought for Christmas. Nintendo Wii was like a family console, so that doesn't count. Just going through the games here. Yeah, so 360 was the first console I actually brought in my life, and it's the one that I still hold dear because it was kind of what built me. Because I was 100% Xbox guy for it because of that console, because it's like one of the best consoles out there. And then obviously Xbox One kind of dwindled me down a bit until I went, you know, fucking PlayStation time. But I mean, 360 is like standout old school gaming.
Well, I had the original Xbox 360, which had like the overheating problem. You used to get the red ring of death on it,
Oh,
and
Red
that
Ring of Death.
I had that like the original, and that's just like kept in the cupboard. It still doesn't work. And then I sold my Nintendo Wii, and I bought the Xbox Elite, and I was like, okay, there we go, I'll have that one. I remember buying Modern Warfare 2 on it. I don't know how I got like served for this. I don't know how you got Assassin's Creed and I got Modern Warfare 2, because wasn't Modern Warfare 2 an 18 because of that mission in the airport when you can shoot everyone?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I went in and bought that. I was like, here's my Nintendo Wii. Trade these in, I want that and that. And I was like, okay. I was like, fair enough. But yeah, that was like my first, kind of first console I bought myself, I guess, but not.
So that's the
Not
thing.
in a way.
Obviously, like, if you look at like, consoles pre like Xbox 1 and obviously PlayStation 4, they are all like a disc drive based. Apart from like Nintendo. Nintendo Wii, I think, was the one exception of disc drives. It's just like push in, push out.
Yeah, pushing thing.
But obviously, everything before that
PlayStation 3 didn't have a disc drive.
didn't it?
No, it was just slotting.
Oh, never had one, so I
But
couldn't
there's
do it.
loads of problems with it. So you put it in, it just like wouldn't go in, or it just like push it straight back out.
Obviously, now it's like a big thing where obviously there doesn't need to be they sort of come out disc drive. It's all just push in, which is a good thing because I remember sitting on my Xbox 361 before. I slipped over. The disc drive was sticking out, and I slipped over, and I was, but it literally locked out of place. I was like, shit. And there's me for ages trying to wedge it back in. I got it back in, FYI. I managed to, like, a lot of brute force, managed to get back in.
Just a lot of cogs, and it like mine used to come out, but I couldn't get it in. I had to used to push it in. Like, so I used to press the button, it would go eject, and then to get it back in, I had to push it in because it wouldn't work.
See, my ass always fixes a lot of things. It fixed my glasses. It fixed my Xbox. It broke my Xbox drive. It didn't fix it. It fixes and breaks things. My ass does.
It didn't fix the pump truck this morning.
My ass is still sore from that, FYI.
It got destroyed by the pump truck, so
Oh.
I wish I had that on recording just to stick it in somewhere.
Just go and ask our boss to see if we can get any camera footage from the warehouse.
That'd be a good one.
But yeah, obviously, I think I've literally, in terms of big game consoles, I've probably only bought out 3. Then again, if you count the Switch, would you count the Switch as a big game console? It's more of a handheld.
No, I'd say it's a pretty big console. It's like what? It's handheld, but not at the same time.
Most people
I'd say
handheld,
it's console. I'd say console.
I'm saying because obviously PS4 I brought myself, which is like years after I actually got an Xbox One. I was like, I think it was like 2-3 years after. I was like, yeah, fuck it, PlayStation 4 time, and of course you got PlayStation 5. Again,
The elusive PlayStation 5 that no one can get.
yeah. I mean, I still have my Xbox One. I got Batman Arkham Knight on it. I used to love playing that. It's like one of the first games I got. I got a Harley Quinn sticker on the back.
I sold my Xbox One. I didn't play after a bit. I think it fell off. There wasn't any good games that really released that. I was like, oh, this is great. And then I bought a PlayStation 4.
I was jumping in between them now, to be fair, because I had Xbox One and obviously PlayStation 4 at the same time. Though I brought most of my games for PS4, I always constantly brought Assassin's Creed games for Xbox because I was in that groove of every Assassin's Creed game I owned was on Xbox.
Well, Xbox, yeah.
And I was like, I don't really want to jump to PlayStation with one. I've got them all on Xbox, so I literally got 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, Black Flag, Rogue, Unity, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey, and it was just like, okay, I'm buying all these on Xbox. I've got them all already. I think it was Odyssey was the one I was like very close to buying on PlayStation. I wish I did now because the disc was kind of fucked. So it was glitchy as hell, constantly crashing during big missions. It fucked me over. So I wish I did. I got a better disc, but obviously I just constantly brought them. And then obviously, come PlayStation 5, I was like, I got PS5 now. I might as well fucking buy it for PS5. And that's when I switched for Valhalla onto that. Glad I did. Superb game. Graphics amazing. PlayStation helps it a lot. I mean,
it's just one of the things that when you have like a collection, you don't want to swap over.
Yeah.
Like same for me with Call of Duty. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get Call of Duty on the Xbox, and then when I got to like obviously Xbox One, I sold it. I was like, yeah, okay, can't get any more on Xbox. So I've got like a random stack of 360 and like one Xbox One game, and then the rest all PlayStation, and now PC because PC Master Race. Obviously,
same to you fair because all my Call of Duty games were on Xbox. Apart from like, I think I might have had one on GameCube. I think 1 or 2 on GameCube, but most of mine were on Xbox up until Black Ops 3, which is a pile of shit. And then obviously I switched to PS4s for is it Infinite Warfare?
Infinite Warfare, one with
The space missions, which was
shit. Infinite Warfare. Yeah, the multiplayer wasn't that bad. It was just the fact that like so many microtransactions and space jumping and crap. I think if it is a different title, it would have been fine. But it's the fact that it's under the Call of Duty banner, which everyone's like, yeah, just don't do that shit. So
it was Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare, the remake.
That was like good. That was pretty good.
World War II, was it?
World War II, yeah.
Was there another one I'm thinking? Oh, no, I did Black Ops 4, but that was like I didn't bother with that because it was multiplayer. And Cold War, but Cold War was the first one I switched to PC for. And here's my example of PC.
Picks the whole thing up.
Shuts your own computer down.
We could just show yours. You got the same as me, so
I would pick it up, but it's heavy and it's plugged in, and if I move it, it's gonna all come apart.
I currently have the side off my computer because I cleaned it, so there's no glass panel on the side right now.
But I mean, I still have all the Nintendo generation as well. So you got obviously your GameCube, bit of Star Wars Rebel Strike. I randomly found this. I was like, okay, I'm gonna struggle to find where I've actually left all my GameCube games, and I found this just lying around. I was like, oh, okay. I remember just being able to do the. Do you remember New Hope, the bit when they go into the Death Star, and they're trying to rescue Leia?
Oh yeah.
You can do that whole mission, which is like amazing, and you can do the whole Hoth battle as well. When you get to shoot up into the AT-ATs and like lightsaber around them.
I think I might have had it. I think I might have had that game myself. To be fair, I remember. The classic.
When you got the frigging wheel with it and everything.
I had Double Dash on the game. I've still got Double Dash on the GameCube, actually, thinking about it.
Of course, you got the handheld generation as well of Nintendo DS.
Oh, I've got a few Nintendo DS games.
Nintendo 3DS, but I had it on 2DS. And of course, Nintendo Switch.
I've only put my collector's box out yesterday because I forgot it's in the cupboard.
Nice little steelbook case of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You have an interesting story when you first got that game. Do you remember when you told me you crab walked like the Exorcist down the stairs to get it?
Wasn't it like I was waiting for the door to go and it just went and I was just like down the stairs. I was like,
yeah,
because like I was like mine.
I was like, because I think mine came and I was like, oh, mine just turned up, and you're like, oh, where's mine? Where's my postie? And then you told me that your mom went to the door and you were like, mine! And he's like, Exorcist walked down the stairs to try and get it.
Yeah, because I was like in bed, so I was like on my landing at mum and dad's house. You got like 3 stairs and then like another set of stairs going like this, but the front door's at the bottom of them, so I just went like down with my feet at the top and my hands at the bottom looking down at the door. So he was just posted looking up at me and I'm just like hands looking down the stairs. It was like this big massive box, but I remember it had like it didn't say my name on it. It had like my gamer tag or something on it. It was like Zenith or something. I was like, oh, okay.
Because you had the collector's edition where you got the controller, didn't you? The GameCube controller,
whole big massive box.
Whereas I just got the basic bitch version. But I was like, I am paying. I already spent how much on a game with a controller a year prior. I ain't doing it again. Fucking Pokemon.
Oh, that one. I never bothered with that one.
Just to have like a controller and go, hey, look, it's a controller, but it's also a Pokeball.
I had I bought the game. I never bought the Pokeball.
Game wasn't the best.
I thought it was alright. I think it was more of like a mild version to get into it, like if you was a kid kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it was just basically just like going, hey, maybe you should go play Let's Go.
I think it was nice to see like older game in like new graphics though.
Yeah, it just wasn't great.
Oh, hang on.
You found something, have you?
Yeah, I got my
Oh,
Pokemon Pearl. But as you can see, I dropped Coca-Cola on it, and I was like, it says Coca-Cola on there, and there's like it's all underneath the cover. But like, honestly, it's all sticky. But here you go. Hang on. I got the receipt from. Oh my god! It just said the year somewhere on here. Where does it say the year? I swear to God, oh, 29th of the 5th, 2009.
Jesus. I never owned that physically, my game. I had the R4 card.
Ah, the classic. Oh, I did have it on R4, and then I was like, I want the actual one, because I remember you couldn't trade on the R4 version. And then after that... was it... I think online... It wouldn't let you go online trading. Like, you could trade someone close, but you couldn't do online trading.
I was like, because someone traded me a Spirit Tomb on my game.
But then I've got, like, the 3DS version.
Yeah, obviously I've got I've got the opposite in terms of you there. I've got the... where's my... Oh, it's right under my desk. I can do the example as well. I was looking for this earlier. I was like, where's my case? I had it not long ago. Obviously, I did the opposite to you in terms of the game. So, obviously, I had Alpha Sapphire instead of Omega Ruby. I had Moon instead of Sun. And I had Ultra Sun instead of Moon. We basically did the opposite, me and you did.
I always try to go for, like, if it's like Diamond and Pearl, I always go for Pearl. I always go for like the second one, because like Sword and Shield got Shield. I feel most people always go for like the very first one in like the list.
No, you did for Moon.
Other than Sun. Sun was the only one that I got. I think I think you had Sun, or someone had Moon, and I was like, I'll get Sun instead. And then obviously when Ultra came out, I just hopped.
The same. I was originally going to get Sun. I actually was going to get Sun, and it was like, yeah, we don't have it. I was like, fuck it, then I'll get Moon. And then I was like, oh, I have to get Ultra Sun there, which I didn't even play. I don't think I played it that long. Okay, but
Ultra version's better. I think it took like less of the holding your hand and like let you do your own kind of thing. Because like I feel like when I played the base Sun, it was such a game which held your hand. I told you exactly where to go and what to do. I was kind of like, yeah, I want the original Pokemon back.
But I mean, it's just how like crazy that gaming's evolved from basically like these sort of like two like it's really like Pong. I'm going to go for here. Like from something that's just basic like that, there's two lines going up and just bouncing a ball across the screen to like, for example, Ratchet and Clank, from something like that to like the new Ratchet and Clank game, how graphically intense that is. Like from something basically, it's just crazy how gaming's evolved as much as it did.
Well, gaming's like the biggest selling media at the moment, isn't it? So like it's gonna have a lot of funding. Like I mean, you've seen some of like the stuff that like the Unreal Engine's doing at the minute, where it literally looks like an actual video, like real life, and you're like, yeah, this is weird to look at. Or like you see like human faces that are like so perfect, like you couldn't tell if it was real or not. But the size of the files that them games are going to run on, like it's going to be impossible to get a full game.
That's the thing, because if you look at like some games, like a lot, there's like especially the big fucking size ones, they required 2 discs. Like for example, the last one I had was Last of Us Part 2. That was a 2-disc game. Yeah. Red Dead 2 2-disc. Fucking GTA on Xbox 360 was 2 discs.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I remember like
one for data, one for actual gaming.
PC back in the day used to have things like Doom, which would have like 3 discs just to install, and then obviously like Final Fantasy back on PlayStation 1 with like 3 discs just to get through the story.
It's just crazy. I mean, it's that's the thing though with gaming compared to like movies and that, you can sort of get engulfed into something like because it's you doing it. Like for example, like a Resident Evil game or something. It's like the from the person's eyes, their perspective, especially like the new ones when they do it with them, rather than the old ones. It's like a zoomed out look.
Yeah,
like those ones you could sort of like get into a lot more because you can picture yourself like, shit, what would I do if I was in this? Okay, there's the exit. Bye, I'm out of here.
It's like horror movies don't scare me at all, but horror games, and that's totally different to me.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm way more scared of playing horror games
I,
than I
s-
am
I
horror
s-
movies. So
you know me, I'm a massive horror fan, but I struggle to play horror games. I struggle to play them. I'm just petrified when playing them. I'm like, oh fuck, where's that noise coming from? Like,
but yeah, no,
one of my examples for Xbox 360 games I was going to bring up, but I chose Assassin's Creed instead. It was AVP. If you remember that game.
I don't remember playing Alien vs Predator. I remember the Aliens game, but I don't remember the Alien vs
Yeah, it
Predator
was
game.
Alien vs Predator. It was like it wasn't well. It was Alien vs Predator, but it was also technically versus Marines because you could play as all three different types, and it was three stories, but each eventually like intertwined into one story. So you had like the Predator's mission, obviously coming to this planet, dealing with the aliens, dealing with the Marines, eventually leading up to the Pred Alien. Aliens captured, escapes, goes on a rampage, eventually leads to Pred Alien where you confront the Predator and whatnot, and the Marines going to the planet, trying to eradicate the aliens, also encountering Predator. It basically is all intertwined stories, but it's like three separate campaigns. And I used to love
Maybe I
playing.
do remember it.
I used to love playing the alien one just for the fact the first mission when the alien's like captive, like you're held hostage and you have to be shown how to play the game.
Is it the one with like it's like the it's like a tactical game? It's not. Oh, I think it's something else. Because there's one where it's like
Kind of,
Alien vs Predator, and it's like you're not one character, you have like troops, and you control all the troops.
You
Am I thinking
control one.
something?
You control one
Maybe I'm
character.
thinking of a different one then.
Yeah, I think you are because the alien one, obviously, I used to love playing that. It was probably my favourite campaign mission. Did I finish that one? I finished one of them, one of the stories. I think it was probably more likely going to be the alien one because I was just engulfed in that one because I loved xenomorphs. 100% love them. And then the Predator one, I sort of got into it to an extent. And that's fun because obviously you got the weapons like the thrown blades, you got your blades in your arm, you got your big cannon on your shoulder, and that was quite fun as well, especially when you're cloaking and you got like all you can hear is where is he? Boom, straight down. But then there was the Marine one. I could never get past the first mission for years. I was petrified of it because it was like
Why?
you wake up and you obviously got someone in your ear and like. You awake? Oh man, you're awake! And he's like talking to you. He's like, grab that gun there, and he's obviously it's like trying to get you around. But there's an alien somewhere in this like facility, and all you can hear is the sounds. And I got out the chair in the game. I got the chair and went, yeah, no, exit. Every time. Eventually, I managed to get to like the second or third mission, but then obviously I dropped off the game, so I didn't bother going any further. But I was fucking petrified of that game, and it wasn't even that scary. But it's that same idea of like you said. Horror games, because it's you doing it, it's a lot more scarier than horror movies where you're watching some half-naked teen run around getting chased by a guy with a machete.
And you're there shouting like, just run! And then they're trying to do some stupid shit, but actually when you're playing the game, you're like, oh, okay, I can make this person run.
Yeah.
Or half the time you're panicking. Oh no, and then you forget to run. And then
yeah,
like,
but it's like, in the sense of that, there's a lot more ways you can get involved with it. Like Call of Duty games as well. Like for the fact that it's obviously you got the whole story aspect, so you know obviously how it's going to go anyway. The game pushes you in a certain direction anyway. But I mean, it's still that idea of this is me, point and shoot. I've got to do this to stay alive. It's that sort of idea. It's a better media format for like imaginations essentially, like fully investing within a product. It's yeah, as I say, most obviously pretty much every game has this, ending that you get into anyway, but most have different ways you can get to it rather than just like a single path. So I
think the biggest problem with obviously games and media is like a lot of single player games have such bad endings or such bad story. Like there's only like the few limited ones, like obviously God of War, Last of Us for the first one. I don't think the second one got the biggest liking from fans. Red Dead, there's some like excel like in story, but then you got these games which like stories like obviously Call of Duty. That story's not a main focus in Call of Duty, and everyone knows that. Like
multiplayer.
It's all multiplayer, so sounds like the new Battlefield coming out. Like they're cutting out the story for multiplayer because they know that's their biggest player base. Like a lot of people don't want the story. Like no one plays it really. Like I've never played like many of this. I've played like maybe 3 of the stories from Call of Duty, and that's probably when I've just got bored of the multiplayer. And I'm like, oh, I'll just jump on single player. But other than that. But then things like God of War, obviously, like the story in that is literally designed to be the story. Like that is amazing. You've played Last of Us. I've not played Last of Us. I played like the first like 10 minutes and was like, maybe not for me. I probably should have got into it, but I was just like, eh. But I think they need like better producers. Like I think they've brought movie producers into a game, it'd be like a totally different ballpark. Like that'd be insane. But that's like the
Yeah,
budget. Like
a bit like with Guillermo del Toro when he was doing the Silent Hill game with Hideo Kojima before that got cancelled.
oh yeah.
Like
Was
that.
it PT or whatever?
Yeah, and he sort of gave it obviously some help, I think, with Death Stranding. And next, the character model was in the game of Del Toro, even though it wasn't him.
But he kind of pulled, from what I gathered, it was like Silent Hill was his testing ground for Death Stranding, and then like he was like, oh, okay, I want to make Death Stranding now, which had a kind of horror feel to it anyway, but a lot of running, walking simulator,
delivery simulator.
I need to play that. I've got like 10 hours in, and I was like, yeah, I'm bored.
I'll probably be replaying it when the Director's Edition comes out.
If it's coming to PC, I would have bought the Director's Edition on that, but I'm not going to buy the standard one. I think it might come PC in time, same as the way the standard one did, but maybe not straight away.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like another year or so. I probably would have completed it a second time by that point.
There's like a lot of exclusives that come out to PC, like obviously Horizon. Like I bought that, I was like excited for it, and then I played like 10 hours, and I've still not finished it. I'm just like, oh, I need to get around to it.
Yeah, it took me a while. Many attempts of putting it down. Months later, shit, I've got that game, haven't I? Better finish playing that. And I think I brought it one Christmas on sale, and it got to have taken me a year just because I kept dropping in and out of it. Great game. It's just that when it's that idea of you put something down and that's it, game over, then you're fucked. Because it's going to be a long time before you go back to it. And that's why I always try it as quick as I can to get through a game. Like, at least within like a month. Because then I haven't got that issue of putting it down and it's gone. Because, as proven when I played Horizon, because of me not playing it constantly, I barely leveled up my character's stuff. And come to the last mission, I was fucked. I was about 10 levels under recommended level. And it took me about 5 attempts before I completed the finale. I did it under level, but it took longer than it should have, really, because of me jumping in and out and not actually putting in like the hours into the game. Whereas you look at something like Assassin's Creed, I put about 110 hours into that game, the new one, something like that. I put
big game.
It's a big game.
A lot of side content.
But I put over 100 hours into that game because I was unlocking everything I could, get my character to the maximum level. There's still some levels I can get to now before the DLC comes out on Thursday, which I'm looking forward to. And it's like even like an Ubisoft game, Watchdogs, that one, that again was another game I kept jumping in and out of. I brought that last Christmas, only just finished it.
I'll say recent playthrough, and
that was another game. I at first I played a bit of it and I never fully got invested. I could do Assassin's Creed instantly, but then when I did get invested, I'd sit down for about 2-3 hours a day and just keep playing it. Like for example, last night when I finished it, I got that into it. I just lost track of time. One moment I was playing it, it was like, what time did I start playing it? It was like 6:30 at night. Then it was like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, oh shit, I better get ready for work. I was like, oh no! I only just figured out you can get the camera in the game. So I thought you have to get a news drone for the camera, but it turns out if you hit your button to get your guns, it says triangle, hit camera, and then you get your phone out.
So you didn't know about that?
I only just figured that out.
Probably said it at the beginning. You just forgot about it because you stopped playing.
That's the idea. If you don't, that's the thing. Like when you watch like movies, obviously you got that idea of, you're not going to keep dropping in and out of it, really. Especially if you're watching like cinema or something, you sit through the entire thing. Whereas like a game, you got that problem of you're going to drop in and out, but it's still the positive of you're still probably going to get more invested when you do in the game than you are in the movie because it feels like it's you. Especially when it's like from the person's point of view rather than a zoomed out. Because though sometimes you like the zoomed out ones because then you get to see like your fancy ass outfits, like, oh, I'm in a nice little set here. But obviously when it's from like a character's point of view, it's obviously better because you just to see your hands. It's like, okay, where am I going? Especially like if you use a VR game.
VR games.
It's just like, where am I going? Like the Jurassic Park when I slightly played before, it was too warm during the heat wave we had that long ago, and I gave up after 5 minutes. I was like, no, too fucking warm to play.
Especially the little face thing, like right on, like
Then I found out moments later you could play it sitting down. I was like,
which is the best way to play.
I was standing up behind me, like, trying to play. I was like, I'm getting too warm doing this. I was like, wait, I could play it sitting down. fuck, I could have done that in the first place. I probably would have actually finished it. Haven't gone back to it since. Same idea of putting a game down and not going back to it.
I think it's as well, like, obviously, with some games, like, obviously, Watchdogs, GTA, stuff like that, is like, with a movie, obviously, it's all one thing. Whereas even if you sit there and play it for, like, 50 hours in a row, you're still doing side stuff or just driving somewhere where there's dead time and you're not doing anything half the time. Like, sometimes just, like, driving around, running into people and stuff, like...
Yeah, it's dicking
That's
around.
just what it is, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, in a movie, you never get that. But that's the difference between, like, a 2-hour movie and, like, a 50-hour game. So...
Yeah.
It's one of them things. Obviously, some games that do well. Obviously, I'm going to keep going back to God of War because that's all story. There's a few side quests, but you can literally just skip half of that. Like I don't think you did much of the side quests. You just went straight through the story, right?
I think the first time I played through, I did some of the side quests. Didn't do all of them, but the second time I was just focused on the story more than anything.
Which I think sometimes that's better. I think sometimes I feel like first playthrough of most games should be like, okay, here's all the story, do all that, and then do the side quest. Because like even like Horizon Zero Dawn, like the amount of side quests I've done outside of the actual story, like I can't remember what's going on in the story now. But my biggest problem as well with single player games is I refuse to put it on a lower difficulty. So I'm always on like a mad difficulty, and then I just like get bored because I'm dying or like I'm not doing as well as I think I am. I'm like, I'll forget it then. Like I need to just learn to put it on normal.
Yeah,
like,
I'm always usually middle ground there. I used to always be easy, but now if I'm in a casual mood, I'll throw it on easy, just like a sit back, enjoy the ride situation. But if it's like I want a decent thing, I'd go with normal. I'm pretty certain I went with normal on like Ratchet and Clank. It's just like, okay, I want a bit of a challenge here. But whereas like trying to think of a game off the top of my head, trying to think of one back in the day that I might have played. I'm really
Assassin's Creed.
Either that or
one of them.
Either that or maybe like Call of Duties back in the day, like because it's just like point and shoot. I was like, I kind of want an easy ride here. Put my feet up, shoot, like that. For example, it's like obviously where I don't go any higher than normal. I just don't to the point because I'm always going to get my ass kicked.
Yeah, I need to learn to put it on normal.
That's just no fun.
I might go back to Zero Dawn and put it on normal. I think I've got it on like maybe the hardest one. So like when I get hit, I'm basically like Half-Life already or like automatically dead. So, but yeah.
I feel like to sum up this topic of gaming evolution and nostalgia in terms of gaming, we're gamers. Always have
Pretty
been.
Much.
We've sat through many evolutions of gaming consoles, from the likes of GameCube to, well,
I mean, I've sat on like
PlayStation 5 now.
I've sat on the Sega Mega Drive, the Dreamcast.
Yeah, we've obviously we've even gone further back, like a Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
My granddad used to have one. That's the one with the big, massive fucking...
It depends, there's two different versions. One with like the two purple buttons, and then you got the
one with the big like cartridge. Is that 64?
Yeah, there's a few with the big cartridges. Depends which one.
My granddad used to have a Mario one.
Mario?
I think it was like a Mario Special Edition one.
Probably worth a bit of money now.
I don't think he has it anymore. I'm pretty certain he gave it to my cousin. I was like, oh, I want that. I used to like playing the Mario when you get to turn into the flying one.
Which Mario was that one?
Oh.
Mario 64?
No, I don't think it was.
I'm trying to think which one it was.
Then I had a few Mario games. It was like a collection edition. It had like different ones, like Mario 3 and 2.
Oh, it's like the gold collection or something. I had like him as a Nuki Mario on the front.
Yeah,
I think
like that.
One. It was like a yellow banner and then it had Mario on it.
Yeah, it's like that, I think.
I think it might have been that one, yeah.
But yeah, we've sat through many evolutions of gaming, gone back to older ones that we weren't even around for, and we're going to be, sticking with more to come because, we're going to have a PlayStation 5000 at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah. Gaming.
What's the new Xbox called? The Xbox what?
X, isn't it? Series X.
The Xbox X. So it went from like Xbox 360, Xbox One, now it's just the Xbox X.
Xbox Series X, I think it's called, which is a shit name.
Yeah, I feel PlayStation's quite uncreative as well. Here's PlayStation 1,
well,
2,
yeah.
3, 4,
There
5.
is that, but, it's not as if you're going from like a big number like 360 to back down to 1.
Not those graphics cards, it's like, here's the RTX 3080, 3090, 2070, it's all over the shop, man.
Yeah, to sum it up fully though, console gaming's fun, but PC gaming's the way. Always has been.
The only reason I have like consoles and stuff is just exclusives. No,
Same. I
other
always
than
buy
that,
it.
it's like meh.
It's either exclusives or games that I'm just like, I can't be asked to get on my PC because I can't be asked to like sit in front of the screen like this. I'd rather just lie
Yeah.
back on my bed, control in my hand, and do it that way. Or if I can get a game cheaper, whichever one I can get it cheaper on, I'll probably get it that way.
Most likely PC.
Unless there's a sale going on.
Yeah, like a huge mega
Yeah,
sale.
but mainly it's for exclusives. Okay, so it's time for movie and TV news. On
Movie and TV
news
news.
section. This is when you need like another camera, so I can like have a piece of paper in my hand and dramatically turn into the other camera.
Yeah, you need to
News time with Dragon and Zenith. Okay, so movie news I found this week. Obviously, Suicide Squad came out last weekend in obviously the US. On top of obviously it's already released in most other countries. It only managed to nab $26.7 million in its opening weekend, which is down from the $30 million they expect it to make. For its grand total worldwide of $72 million, I think the internet says, with a budget of $185 million. Apparently, they spent $100 million extra on marketing. I don't know how they managed to get that much. So apparently, it's like a $285 million budget, and they haven't even made $100 million. But obviously, they'll probably look at it for the positive reviews they got from it, critically and audience-wise. It's acclaimed. So obviously, they'll also look at the fact that the Delta variant in America is fucking the US up at the moment, so that's a big thing. It's an R-rated movie during a pandemic. Not many people are going to go watch it. It's free on HBO Max. People aren't. If it's, again, R-rated movies, so people if they like got kids or something, and it's like, oh yeah, you won't be able to watch that in the cinema. Let's just watch it on TV. So there's a lot of like aspects to why this has obviously been a disaster at the box office. It's not like because it's a shit film, because it's a good film. But obviously, if you look at the first one, it was a 12A. That's why it did well, and it came out when there wasn't a pandemic. But putting an R-rated movie out during the pandemic while also putting it out for free is always going to make it fuck up.
Yeah, also on top of that is like, when you put it on streaming platforms, it's so easy to pirate compared to when it's just in the cinema. Like, the amount of people that are going to pirate the movies on real, like, I mean, look at like exclusives to Netflix when they come out, they're literally all leaked online straight away, so... But when it's in the cinema, not many people are going in with a camcorder in a beanie. There's a few, but there's not many. So
yeah,
a lot of people don't want to watch stuff like people don't want to watch like camcorder footage. So people go to cinema to watch it. But obviously, with pandemic stuff, no one's going, so they're not going to earn as much money. I mean, look at some of the movies that earn like in the past that when they've opened in cinema, have earned like hundreds of millions, and then this one's come out and it's earned like next to nothing really. Like compared to that, it's like. It's mad.
I feel like if this was a 12A, it would have probably made a lot more on its opening go around. But then again, it would have fucked with the entire context of the film because it doesn't. It's not a 12A. Nowhere near. I'm surprised it got a 15. 18 is where I would put it personally. But I mean, it's also I was reading people. I think they're calling it a Tomb Raider effect. So the first Tomb Raider came out, the original one with Angelina Jolie. I don't think it was as acclaimed. Obviously. It was like a 50-50 film, and then the second one came out, which was Cradle of Life, I think, and was a disaster at the box office. And ever since then, movie sequels are always referred to as the Tomb Raider effect. Like you got a not so great film coming out first. I'm gonna actually double check just to see which one was actually. I'm curious to myself. Maybe the second one was better than the first one. I don't know. I don't think I even bothered with the Angelina Jolie ones.
I don't think I watched any of this. I think I might have watched like a bit.
I saw the what's her name ones, the Alicia Vikander.
I played the games and you could lock the butler inside the fridge. I did that a few times.
Tomb Raider 2001. Tomb Raider 2001. Generally negative reviews. Tomb Raider, the Cradle of Life.
Also a negative review.
Yeah, also a negative review. But I think it's slightly. I think the reviews are slightly a little bit more up than the first one, and I think it's still, but not. It's still negative. I think it's the idea of you've got a bit of a better sequel, but it's the idea of people saw the first one and they're like, yeah, we're not going to risk it because the first one was dog shit. So it's that idea. So they call it like the Tomb Raider effect. From what I was slightly glanced at online. So,
It's obviously with, like the new Suicide Squad. Like obviously you said it's like acclaimed critically and like audience, but I feel like a lot of people ain't gonna watch it because of like how bad the first one was received. Like people aren't gonna go out the way to be like, oh, let's watch this one. Like Justice League, obviously the Snyder Cut. Like a lot of people didn't like the first one. A lot of people didn't go back for the Snyder Cut. Like, but obviously people love the Snyder Cut. That's like everyone's like, yeah, it's way better. But I feel like a lot of people didn't go back for it because it was like, oh well, I've already watched it and it wasn't that good the first time. What's this going to change? So
yeah.
hence me. I've not gone back to watch it. But
There's many reasons why it's been a disaster at the box office. Talking of movies at the box office, your favourite franchise, Paw Patrol's had its movie just recently come out. It's apparently really positive. Apparently it's got positive reviews, I saw.
I might go watch that. I might go watch that one.
I saw it.
I wear my little fire helmet going.
I lent you my nephew's hat. He's got the hat with the dog's face on it. Paw Patrol,
I'll do it.
The movie. It's currently out in UK cinemas according to this. I don't know about US. On Rotten Tomatoes.
Paw Patrol even big in the US?
I think so. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got from 5 critic reviews, it's at 100%. So early reviews from critics are apparently good.
They're not kids like critics are obviously, so it's gonna be like decent.
The critics are just kids. It's just kids in a trench coat.
Just go, yeah! Every time on screen, that's 1 point for the film.
Yeah. Talking of a good thumbs up from critics, Nicolas Cage's new movie, Pig, is his highest rated live action movie to date with 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, which one's that? I feel
It's
like
his
I've
brand
seen
new
the
film that's just
trailer.
come out with it's like got a pig in it.
I think I've seen the trailer, but I can't recall.
Apparently, it's his highest rated live action film. His highest rated film is Into Spider-Verse with 97. But in terms of live action, this is his highest rated movie ever.
In Spider-Verse, my favourite Spider-Man film.
It's definitely up there. That's all the TV news I picked this week. Movie news. TV news though. Supergirl recently wrapped up filming its 6th and final season. That's finally finished filming, and obviously they're better. I think in a couple of weeks in America, they're better to start airing the last half of the series. That's what they're filming. They film the first half, then they film the second half. The English dub of Shaman King hit Netflix on Monday.
Oh, you've been watching that?
Yeah, I'm on episode 9, I think now. Of 13.
I'm not seeing it, so.
Apparently, obviously, I was looking at IMDb. There's actually 19 episodes altogether, so I don't know why they've released us 13 and not just wait for the whole series to come out. But hey,
Unless they're gonna put like a few more on every now and then.
More than likely, that's my guess. It's good. There's just a few tweaks I'd make with it, like bringing back the nostalgic theme song from the original show, and not this Japanese song that I can't sing. Like I love watching the first one. I love jamming to the theme, and then you watch this one, it's like I can't sing that. I don't know what they're saying.
You could just play it over the top.
I could do, yeah. I might just mute it next time I play it. It might not fit in like the length for this new theme, so, like the actual intro now, but I'll play it twice. And there's also like a annoying thing where in the original one, when they used to get the spirits, they used to say spirit form unity, and then it's just like they just go spirit integration, and I'm just like, sounds shit. There's like a few little tweaks I make, and like the voice acting as well. They brought back the one character, and then everyone else they changed. So it's just annoying because you hear that character first, and then you go to these ones, you're like, they're not the same character. What the hell? It's like that.
So it's one of them things like a new audience, like people to get into that don't really know it. So
it's just a few tweaks I'd make here and there to improve it. And lastly, it's kind of like a news that came out last week, but obviously they announced the Lord of the Rings release date on Amazon for September 2022. So recently wrapped filming, and now it's in like production, like post production, like editing, VFX, and that. So it's like a whole year away before it's even getting released, which is a fucking long time.
How many episodes is it? Or is it not been announced yet?
Oh, Lord of the Rings, Amazon. According to, it didn't say.
I'm guessing they're going to be long episodes anyway.
Right, it's already been renewed for another series.
No, well,
got renewed 2 years ago. It got renewed.
Jesus.
And that's all the TV news. I got some interesting news though.
There's some TV news that you're forgetting.
Oh.
That you told me about the other week with was it the Superman thing when they left in the unedited footage?
Oh, when I saw the clip on Twitter, I think it was, of people complaining that they left like the VFX shot from a episode of Superman and Lois in this TV series.
I can't believe they left that in.
I think they. I saw like the screenshots of it, and I was just like, you can tell from the first image of like a normal shot to that, and I was like, how do you not spot that in editing? It's not the first time that's ever happened. It's like there's a few probably prime examples of that throughout history, like cinema, like TV, and that where they fucked up and like left something in cough the coffee cup in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, was
Like,
it Starbucks?
yeah, there's many instances of these sort of instances, but that is really bad. You got any gaming news today?
The only gaming news that I found, obviously, is the Duke Nukem trailer that leaked online. But the cancelled Duke Nukem project that I'm kind of glad didn't happen because Duke Nukem Forever was terrible anyway. And they kind of killed the franchise with that. So, and also the cancelled Power Ranger concept art for the open world game that came out, which I thought you'd be interested in. But it's not going to happen, so RIP.
And you said you couldn't find any monkey news, which was so sad.
It's all sad monkey news. I don't want like this monkey brain virus thing and this you saw one about a snake eating a monkey or something.
You know what? If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll slap a picture of that monkey with the glasses on. That.
Yeah.
I'll slap a picture of him wearing the glasses. There you go. That'll cheer you up. So some interesting news I found this morning. Apparently on Monday, the London Tower Bridge was broken. Like it was stuck in the upright. It
just didn't close.
It was stuck apparently. And
is it falling down?
Sadly not. So you can't be singing London Bridge is falling down. And apparently it got stuck in the upright position, so they had to try and fix it. I was like, okay. Obviously the Olympics recently ended. And
England did pretty well.
Team GB ended on 65 medals, which is the exact same amount they won back in London 2012. They got the exact same amount of medals, and they finished 4th, I think, in the tally.
Who got the most? America.
Yeah, they just about beat China.
And then Japan third.
Yeah, it was US, China, Japan, us. But US, it was very last minute. US beat China. But it was like 1 or 2 medals in it, I think. Very close. I also have been seeing a lot of apparently there's been a lot of encounters with sharks lately off the British coast.
I saw. I did see one actually. I think it might be the one you're going to say. I can't think what shark it's called.
I don't know. I've just been I haven't read into it. I've just been seeing articles, people saying, "Oh, there's the encounter with sharks off Bournemouth." I've seen this shark. It's basically all over the British coast. People keep getting encounters with sharks, like Cornwall and that.
Yeah, well, it could be obviously the warmer weather we've been having. Yeah. We had was it a month of solid 30 degrees weather? So doesn't surprise me that there's going to be sharks coming to the coast and stuff. But
yeah,
might stop a bit now. Now it's gone colder again.
The last thing obviously I was mentioning to you at work. Obviously, it's kind of like movie and music news because it's merged into one. Obviously, Churches. I think you said that's the best way to pronounce her name.
I think that's how it is.
Obviously, recently collaborated with legendary horror director John Carpenter for a few covers of her songs. What's the song? I think it's Good Girl and Bones. Obviously, he did covers adding his music over the top of it and whatnot. That was quite interesting. And that's all the news I have. Back to you, Tom, in the studio.
Just quick, if you want a little news thing,
okay.
Review time. Review.
So to stick with the gaming theme of this episode, I thought I'd review the game I recently finished, as I stated earlier, just yesterday, which is obviously Watchdogs Legion, Ubisoft's third attempt at Watchdogs games. Watchdogs always been one of these things for me that I played the first one. I didn't play much of it. I played enough of it, but didn't play a lot of it. It was a game that obviously was riddled with bugs when it first came out. But I didn't mind it. I thought it was interesting. I liked the main character. I liked some stuff about it. I liked the hacking side of it. It was cool. Then obviously Watch Dogs 2 came out, a lot more positive compared to the first one. But I never really played it. I think I played the start of it, but never really played that much because I had it on when I had my old PC, so I never could play it on a good graphics, so I always just gave up. I could probably play it now, but it's just can I be asked? No. But obviously Watch Dogs Legion was the one I was like, okay, that's interesting. So obviously you got Valhalla come out, which is set in England, and then you got Watch Dogs Legion that's come out that's set in England. I was like, okay, I might pick that up, and obviously I picked it up for 30 quid, I think, on PS5, and you could play it on both consoles if you wanted to, PS4 or 5, and it is a lot of fun. There's a lot to do in the game. It's a decent sized map because it's London. There's a lot you can do, and there's so many characters in the game that you can pick up and just join your clan. You can have from like someone as basic as like an actual hacker, like the game's meant to be, to I don't know, like a trumpet player. You know, a trumpet
The old
player that
granny.
the old granny, for example, I found barfing in the fucking bin. Like you can have any character you want, which is a bit different to most games. And I like the fact that each character has their own perks. Like some characters just instantly die. Some like can just do random shit like fart and just
Some characters instantly die.
Yeah, some they have like something called Death Wish and they'll just die. If you get shot, that can be it. They can not come back. And then some characters can literally fart and like people can hear it and go, "Hey, what's going on over there?" It's literally a move. I got a police officer that literally has that stat, like, just farts and like can call people over. And obviously, as I said, the slow moving granny, which is shit because it's just like so fucking slow. There's so many positives with that, but there's also negatives with it because a lot of them have the same voice actors, and it gets annoying when you got like 5 characters with the same fucking voice. It's like, can you not get anyone else to do a voice? Like I think I got my original character, which I keep calling an old man, but it turns out he's only 40 something. He's like 46, and I keep referring to him as an old man. Don't know why. And my spy, they have the same accent. They have the same accent, same voice actor, and it's kind of annoying when you switch between them. It's like I'm just listening to the same guy here. So that's like a massive negative there. But the other positive with this is obviously it's set in England. Come on, it's obviously if you look at the other Watchdogs games,
between England now.
Yeah, you look at the other 2 Watchdogs games. They're both America.
No,
they're both. First one's Chicago, and the second one's I don't know.
LA, isn't it?
I think so. I never really played much of it, so I can't really say. But obviously, they brought it to England, which again has its negatives. So the fact that like characters, they're stuck with certain guns. Like every character has basically electric-based guns, which are a bit shit, and only certain characters that you find will have other guns, like actual proper guns. So it's a bit annoying. So if you look at like the first one, you can go in a gun shop and buy fucking how many guns, like different guns. Whereas this, you can't, which okay makes sense because it's England. But I feel like because there's characters that are smugglers, I feel like you could have had like a smuggler shop where you could buy weapons, which would have been cool. So that's kind of like another drawback is you can't have like a massive variety of weapons. Like,
everyone's just walking around with knives. Everyone's walking around with knives in the bag. Welcome to London.
I don't think there's any knives in the game.
Jesus, they missed out on an opportunity.
That's definitely not London. I feel like it's got a good story. It has got a very interesting story because there's a lot you can do within the story. There's a lot of side missions. There's a lot of main missions. Like there's like 1, 2, 3. There's about 5 bad guys you have to deal with before you can be out of it. So you got this sort of police bad guy who runs like a militia. You got the gang bad guy. She's like quite a bitch. She's got like a slave trade going on. You got the 0 Day, which is like the main sort of villain who's fucking you all over. And I think there's like 2 other villains that you can sort of deal with. And so there's a lot you can do. There's a lot of stories based on these characters that you have to deal with. And obviously there's a lot that goes into the story for you to complete it, which is really interesting. And even though some of the side missions are quite fun. Just to like try and like infiltrate somewhere and like do stuff. That's quite a nice little thing. And I like the fact obviously that you can just do anything really in the game. You can just dick around. Like, I like walking around. Like I see a cop car, I hack into the car, make it go forward, and I can just spring it off. They hit someone and go, "He hit someone. He run him over. He did it." And then you get out and go, "Spread out. The road here somewhere." I just like doing shit like that. I just like dicking around, man. Like if I'm in a car chase, I always like hack the car and try and spin it in front. Try and spin it in front. Yeah, like even a bus, like ram it into a thing. I managed to do that. I managed to like get a truck into front of someone. I managed to hack their car. It was hilarious. Obviously, like a negative I do have, obviously, is the ending. I thought it was a bit
lackluster.
Yeah, like they had this really like sad ending that was going on. Like the music in the background was really fucking sad. I was like, this is getting like really into it, and then out of nowhere, it's just like, oh yeah, no, this has happened. It's kind of redundant, which makes sense for the free roaming aspect like, afterwards. But it's just like, yeah, I kind of just did that for nothing now. Like you could just done it like you rolled it back slightly maybe and like pretended that like something hadn't happened yet or whatnot. Some games do, they roll it back before like, this happens, and then it's like, okay, they're just gonna ignore that the fact that it still hasn't happened yet, but it's fine, it's so it can work. So it's kind of just anticlimactic in that sense. Obviously you can customize your characters, which is really fun. Like pimp them out with new outfits, hairdos, beards, tattoos, lipstick if you want, a bit of lippy.
The one that looks like you said.
It looks like me, but it's also a mixture of you as well, because it's got the tats.
Oh, it's a mixture of me.
It's me meets you. It's got it's got my hair and my glasses, but it's got your tats.
Is it our love child?
It's our love child, yes, it's our love child. But obviously there's a negative with that aspect for the fact that that was only an update about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But from when the game first came out in October, I think it was last year, that wasn't part of it. You could only change your costume, and that was it. You could never change hair. You could never customize your character's looks. You couldn't do anything, and that was only a recent update. So there's the negative, that they released it without that in. Because if you look at Valhalla, that instantly got released with the aspect to change clothes, change like hairdo, beard, tattoo. That was instantly there. So, why couldn't they have just gone over to the developers and gone, you mind if I nick this bit of code here, mate? Cheers. Thanks a lot. I'll just add that into my game. So that's
how well did they think it was going to be received though? Because obviously, like with the past two, they haven't been like.
First
really
one wasn't
good
well received, but the second one got a bit better. I think this one was probably like some of its better reviews because it is a very entertaining game, especially if you just want to dick around, which is what I do a lot of times. Because as I said, there's that one mission towards the end which is quite fun where like you gotta try and get from like your destination to a building, but every car around you is like trying to crash into you.
Yeah.
Everything's whole London's exploding because like everything's like run by optics, which is like a technology thing on your face where you can like scan people to see who they are, and everything's just exploding around, and it's like really like catastrophic, really fun. And obviously that builds into the teamwork aspect of needing more than one character, for the fact that one character can't do everything. They have to cut to another character to do another thing, which is really entertaining. It's really fun. I just think overall it's a fun action game. Plenty of characters to choose from. If let's say you want a musician, go and get a musician. Breakdancer, have a living statue guy. You can literally get an achievement for escaping a 5-star like police chase by doing the statue emote. Apparently, if you can get the statue thing going, it like stops the police chase. You get an achievement for it. I'm halfway done on achievements, FYI. I'm halfway there. Obviously, so it's a decent story behind it, but there is still a few drawbacks, as there is with the franchise in general. But I will, when it goes down in price, pick up the season pass so I can play the DLC because it brings it back to the first game, so that's fun. I think for a rating, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. It's good, but it's missing some stuff. It's one of those games that it's definitely like, if you want to dick around and enjoy a decent story, then go ahead. But there is a few still drawbacks. That I've got a glitch recently where my mask doesn't come on. Like the characters like do the movement for the mask, but the mask isn't there. And then they do the movement to take it off, and it's still not. It's like not even there. It's like a weird glitch in it at the moment. But then some characters still put the masks on, but some don't. It's like a weird glitch. I don't know why it's doing it. But yeah, I feel like 4 out of 5 is definitely a good scale for it. Like, if it's at a 10, it's probably like an 8, like 7.5 to an 8. It's like it's good, but it's still missing a bit. I wouldn't go any higher than that.
See, Watchdogs for me is like, how do I rate it compared to GTA?
I don't look at it like that. I don't, to be fair. I just look at how fun I had playing it, and when I eventually got into it recently, I just really had a lot of fun. It was quite fun. But yeah, 4 out of 5 would do me. Okay, so I haven't got any questions or answers. So with the answers, not the questions. I got a question for you.
Oh god.
Do you reckon you can land your ass in that pump truck?
It depends.
Well, stay mid-air as well for as long as I did.
It was the fact that you fell, hit your ass, and then the other pump truck you went in the cock and balls.
I just laughed at the fact I stayed in mid-air for as long as I did before.
I just watched you fall. What's he doing?
Before my weight eventually caved in and took me down and smashed my knob off the fucking side of it.
He's just like, I was on my phone and all of a sudden you just like falling. I was like, what's he doing? And he was there for a good like 10 seconds before you just like bang. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, okay, that'll do then. So that's it for the Chat Cave podcast this week. I don't see any point in announcing next week's build because we usually just like figure it out as we go along what we're going to actually end up doing. It was like this wasn't even like the original choice for the topic. I think for the first go around, we eventually changed it to this. So it's sort of like on the wing. Like a few days before, we might pick a topic.
We'll sort it out.
At the moment, this is probably just going to be on YouTube. I'm sort of trying to sort out the Spotify shit. There's like there's a paywall between me and actually uploading it. I'm just like, if there's a massive call out in the comments, like, oh, put it on this, I'll listen through to this, then I will look into actually putting every episode on. But if there's not, then I'll just stick with the YouTube angle of it. So for now, this is just going to be on YouTube, but it might also eventually be on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, yada, 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 Google Podcasts, blah, 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 blah. If there's enough outcry for me to put it on there. So
Maybe a Twitch live stream version.
that's like the end of the month. The live,
Yeah, end of the month. Episode 4.
yeah. Also, my Google just went off my phone because I said Google.
You'll go
Stop
again.
it! It's already on, so you can't do it anymore. It's saying it's repeating what I'm saying. It's coming on the screen saying stop it. So yeah, thanks for joining us. If you've joined us, yabbering on as we always do. You sat through a bit less than last time because I haven't had to do 20 minutes of explaining stuff.
Yeah.
So there is that. Another interesting conversation here, Connor, between us.
Go on then.
Bring it back. No, I'm saying it's another interesting conversation. No,
I thought you were going to start another one up.
I'm saying it's another interesting one we've done. Bring back a lot of memories of old times of gaming back in the day. And
me being under the stairs.
Yeah, you Harry Potter in it. Oh, sorry. Did I not mention we're joined by Tom Felton today, aka Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter.
I'm Harry Potter / Draco.
You're Draco if you lived in Harry Potter's house.
Alternate universe.
What if?
I'm Draco if he works at fucking where we work on a night shift.
But yeah, so that's it for this week. So we'll see you next week. Again, drop comments in the comments below.
Please drop comments.
Yeah, please. We didn't have any questions, so I was going to ask a stupid question today. I forgot to put it in the group chat as well, just to see if we can get any questions off them lots. I was going to do that because I was like, shit, there's no comments. Fuck. I was going to ask them and I forgot.
So, yeah, we'll sort it.
Yeah, we'll try and actually get some people asking.
Hopefully.
Random shit. We can be anything. It doesn't even have to be about a topic.
We'll make some fake accounts.
Hello, why are you so beautiful? Oh, thank you, Zenifire89.
It's just like ZEN brackets, not Zen.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, drop comments of how to improve, shit like that. I would have had the outside light beaming on me, but it was too much, so I had to draw the curtain.
Yeah, it's just like a sun flare over this camera.
So I was like, yeah, fuck it. This is a bit better light than it was last week. I'm much more red. I'm red than anything today.
My biggest problem is the reflection in my glasses that I can't get rid of.
You mean that?
There
you go.
Just
I got mine.
Like, I look down, but I always want this.
You know, I always slightly glance down like this and look up my eyes like this. Yeah. So yeah. We'll see you next week. Ta-da!